All right, welcome back everyone to another edition of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill. I go by Yoda Man on the boards, and this is a game that was just played this evening at my house, also known as Yoda's Hut. There, between myself and my good friend Jerry, who we do a lot of playing of this game just at my kitchen table, and actually joined for commentary tonight by Jerry. How's it going, Jerry?
Hi, doing well.
All right. So this was Jerry's first time actually getting a chance to play the Galactic Ambition cards at all. So we decided to take the deck list that I asked people to suggest for the tournament I played at yesterday. And Jerry built a Rebel deck here that was suggested, and I built actually a Scum Sith deck. So my deck was suggested by Kira Mode, well known on the boards for his famous Kraken deck. Um, he had suggested using a Sith affiliation with Jarek's set, Scouring the Empire, two of the new Galactic Ambitions Palpatine, that's Power of the Dark Side, one of the original IG-88, the Droid's Task, two of Slave Trade, two of Bane Millar's Hunter for Hire set, and two of the new Galactic Ambitions Zuckuss Out of the Mists, which looks like the first objective I flipped up was that. And I'm flipping up the objectives on the right here. I flipped up Out of the Mist, Slave Trade, and Power of the Dark Side. So, Jerry, which deck did you actually play in this one if you're
Okay,
numbered?
I played Rebel deck. It was suggested by Starhawk 77.
Yeah.
It had two Mission to Telays and two Turning the Tides, two Commando Ops, two Shield Generator Assault, two Planning the Attack.
Right.
I started off by flipping up Commando Operations first, and then planning an attack there, and then Shield Generator Assault.
Yeah. So, as I said, this was definitely a little bit of a disadvantage for you. I'd gotten to play the cards a little bit the last couple of days and on Octagon, and you were seeing a lot of these things for the very first time, but just kind of winging it here. So, looks like we started out the dials at one. I discarded a Royal Guard champion, and I'm going to play Jarek. So, that's a pretty good play on my part. I got four Force Icons, and thanks to the Royal Guard champions. Um, ability, he's sort of like the dark side version of the Wolfman. He comes back into play from discard if you win the force by three or more. So I'm going to get to have two units out to start. And then I'm going to trigger slave trade since I've got the balance and actually capture one of your cards, it looks like there.
Yeah, this didn't seem like a good start for me.
No, I didn't think so. But I'll be honest, like you were playing a couple of the new Rebel sets that I hadn't really done much yet with. I used one of planning the attack yesterday in the tournament, but I didn't really draw much from it, and I hadn't used Mission to Delay at all. So, so it looks like I just took balance back and passed turn to you, and we'll see what happens there. Now, let me kind of briefly go over these new objectives for people who haven't gotten too much of a chance to play for it. So, Power of the Dark Side, the new Palpatine objective, what it does is if you win a force struggle by three or more force icons, you get to deal a damage to each enemy unit committed to the force. And out of the mists, the new Zuckuss pod, as after you win a contested edge battle with at least double your opponent's force icons, you can put a scum unit into play that costs three or lower from your discard pile. And
Oh, you might notice that I drew a card even though I didn't discard, because planning the attack, since it's undamaged, lets me have my reserve value up by one.
right, yeah, that's a good thing to know. And I forgot that yesterday at the tournament at one of the games that I had it out and could have drawn up, and the next turn it got turned off, so it didn't matter. But I'm not sure it really hurt me. That was one of the games I was able to win with it. But new cards, sometimes it's easy to forget those triggers there. So there's a pretty interesting build there. It looked like more of a rebel character deck from what I could tell that you had there. That Starhawk 77 had suggested, with Han and um, Crix in there, and the Akbar set, and the new thing with Mon Mothma and Kyle.
Yeah, with
Yeah, with Kyle Katarn.
yeah,
So it looks like you're starting with Crix, so that's a pretty good play. You're going to get some resources out there. And I remember us sort of talking since we just played this earlier that I think you asked about the power of the dark side because you thought it was going to go off no matter what, but it only hits things committed to the force. So you're actually fine not committing cricks in this case if you weren't going to play anything else.
Yeah, I couldn't catch you anyway since you had 4 dots on the force.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that Jarek is a something I don't play a lot, so I was kind of interested when I saw Kira Mode had suggested one of them in there. It seems like Jarek's probably better as a one-up set to begin with. Um, but that's a pretty good play when you can spend 4 resources and get 4 icons on the force to start with. So, and especially with that being able to discard those new Royal Guard champions I had in my opening hand when I knew I was going to play Jarek and just put it right back into play. It let me kind of cycle through a little more. So, yeah, I think we were just talking at this point, if I remember right, about how I think you thought you needed to commit crick so you wouldn't lose by more than 3, and I was telling you as we were going back over that it wasn't going to affect you otherwise. But
Right.
so you didn't commit cricks, and I capture another card with slave trade, so I got 2 on there, and the dial's
Uh,
going to move up to 3, and I'll refresh. So now I was kind of wondering what might have been going through your head as you're looking at some of these new cards.
yeah, I was. Well, for one thing, I played the deck because I've always liked rebel character decks, as you know.
Right.
Uh, the Yeah, at this point, I was just trying to take stuff in a little bit, I think, and probably even right now, frankly,
Right.
still
Yeah.
trying to absorb this the first day playing this stuff. But
Yes.
but yeah, I was worried that I was not going to get the force back anytime soon. And if I recall correctly, that was true.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So looks like I was able to play the one of the Imperial Inquisitors from Jarek set. So it's got a resource on it. It's neutral, and then I used one of the Scum resources to put out Forlom, the new Forlom, as well as a Galactic Scum. And then I'm going to capture a card with slave trade. So I'm slowly building a board up there. Now I've got some tactics out. And the new Zuckus and Forlom sets are pretty cool. The Forlom, he's got a black gun, a black blast, but he's got a reaction that after he's focused to strike as an attacker, you can capture a target enemy unit with printed cost 2 or lower. And if Zuckus happens to be in the same engagement, you can actually capture something that's committed to the force. So very strong combo if you can get them both out. And I was thinking as I was playing this, it'd probably be cool to play that kind of thing with Bausch because that ability would trigger Bausch's reaction. You could tick the dial up, but this is a little bit different build. This is more of like a Force Hunters kind of deck with trying to keep the Force and then use Palpatine stuff and Bane Malar to kind of take out things that are committed to the Force. So it looks like you're just drawing up again since I didn't turn off that planning the attack yet. If I remember right, I'm
Yeah.
not sure I ever turned it off in this game. That I kind of there wasn't much reason for me to attack too much. Maybe I did eventually kind of get it in, but
I actually don't remember you doing so, but yeah, I mean, you just built up such strong defense here. I don't know that you had to attack that
right,
much. I'm trying to remember if you attacked at all, frankly, but you
yeah,
probably did once or something, just not
yeah.
you.
I feel like I might have actually tried to attack that just to turn it off to keep you from getting the reserve value early, um, depending on what you did here. So you do have 7 resources to play with, and Crix is pretty good with the fake cards because you can clear off tokens that you put on them and free them back up. So, but I don't remember if you used Crix too much, like for his resources at the beginning, as you were trying to get some units out too, just so you didn't get overrun by some swarm here.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was worried because I know you play aggressively a lot of times, and I was worried that if I did stuff like that, like using him too much, that for just for the resources, that you would just pounce on something.
Right. So I think you played. I don't remember what it's called, but I think it's that enhancement that's in the Mon Mothma set. That
Oh yeah, it's a inspiring presence.
right.
So it acts like a one resource. It's a rebel resource even.
Yeah.
Um, but it also makes the person the person it's on plus anything else in that objective set gain elite.
Yeah, so that would make your Rebel Commandos elite if they come into play. And it looks like you played Dodana too, General Jan Dodana. Now he's a pretty strong unit there. I mean, he's got a good spread of combat icons. He's got 3 force pips, so I think he costs 4 and has 3 health. So,
Yeah, and when you use the Yavin 4 card to generate one or more resources, you can draw a card off that
Right.
too.
Yeah, so with planning the attack out, you got to have them for a resource. So that's good. I'm trying to remember if you got a chance to use that too much there.
I don't remember getting a chance to use it much. Like if I did, I might have forgotten to use it.
Right.
I can't remember now, but it seems like I didn't.
Right. So I've got a pretty good wall of defenders here. I've got a few cards. I didn't have as many because I did play three things on my turn. Um, I remember thinking as I did that, I could really use one of those Zygerian slavers so I could maybe start selling you cards back so I could draw a couple cards on my end. And it looks like you're going to attack with Donna here. And I'm going to defend with, what am I going to defend with here? Probably the Scum since I got tactics. And Forlom, that's an interesting choice. I only have two guns that way. And I don't think this deck had any heat of battles, if I remember right. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I'm trying to see what we're gonna do. All right, got an edge battle going on.
Yeah, I figured I might as well attack if I could somehow win this. That maybe I could tap out, and get the force. Yeah,
Right.
tap your.
Yeah. So looked like you did play a seeds and concussion rifle or something. So you got four, and I might have only had three there because I saw a force term. I think I just had one other icon. So you're gonna win that edge battle, and probably tap down Jarek, I would guess, with the seeds. Yeah, because it doesn't make much sense for you to attack yeah the Royal Guard champion down because that's one of ours. Yeah, so you're gonna tap Jarek down, and I'm going to focus Forlom and shoot Dodana. Looks like. Oh, I might have actually won that edge battle. Now that we're looking at it, because it looked
Yeah,
like I shot first. So I turned off your tactics.
yeah.
And then I shot with Forlom first because I'm not sure why. Then I shot again with the Galactic Scum, and I'm going to focus Crick. So I was able to get 2 damage on Dodana.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to get the force back because you're
Right.
able to focus.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I had 4 too. I just didn't see what my other card was. I just captured another card with Slave Trade. So
Yeah.
there's about 4 under there right now. Now I do remember. I think I told you like towards the end that I wanted that slaver because most of the cards I had really weren't that good. I was ready to give them back to you. I think I had at this point. I think 2 of those first 4 cards were the final battle and some other stuff that really wasn't nothing earth shattering when I was looking at them that I was that concerned if you got them back. So it looks like I got a slaver holding cells there. So that's the great force resources that came out back in the echoes of the force cycle. So when you win the force struggle, you can take a token off of them. So I'm building up some resources here. Looks like I actually have Zuckus there. I think I saw. Yep, there's Zuckus. So now I can get the combo going with Zuckus and Forlom, and then can't tell what I just played there.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what that was. Might have been. I was trying to remember if I got another one of those. No, I'm not sure what that was. If maybe it was one of the
Yeah, I
Atlantic
can't see.
It might have been one of those Atlantic lackeys from Bane Millar's set. Um, I think that's what it was. So looks like I'm going to go ahead and swing with Forlom and Zuckus, and that's going to be pretty good because if I go in together with them, I can capture something that's actually committed to the force. So I could get rid of Crix and kind of take your resources here. And then if I remember right, oh, I'm actually going to go with the Scum first. I guess I've changed my mind. I'm trying to figure out what to attack with. I got too many options. I got an open board to swing at. So it looks like, all right, I'm going to attack with Atlantic Lackey after commando operation. So I can turn that off and actually play fake cards now and have them go off. That's what I was doing there. Because if I remember, I think I had an Echoes in my hand. So I was figuring I could put an Echoes on Dodana and then trigger new Palpatine's objective and kill Dodana, and I'm going to capture Crix with Forlom's reaction there.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, so you turned off commando, so your fake cards now work, but I think I
Right.
had a rebel commando maybe in hand.
Yeah, you might have. So you might have gotten something else out with it. Yes, I played Echoes. I did commit. I'm gonna commit to Donna there. Yeah, and then you did play Rebel Commando. So you're gonna get to shoot back at me and probably kill Forlom, but that's okay. I think I was gonna shoot with him first anyway, so I could get the capture. And if you take him out, you take him out.
Right.
Yeah. So it looked like the second attack, I was going after the shield generator. So I'll try to get some damage on that in case you wanted to clear off one of them from commando operations and turn it back on. So yeah, so I think we were going over the card, just how it works since they were new. I hadn't actually played the new Forlum and Zuckuss yet. So I was going to shoot the commando for one. I was going to do one damage to the objective and then capture Crix and probably not put it under slave trade. Yeah, I put him under out of the mist since you couldn't just get him back if you wanted. So looks like you shot with the Rebel commando and probably took out Forlom. Yep.
Hmm.
And then Zuckuss has a tactics too, although I think it wasn't. At this point, I realized it wasn't really going to matter based on my master plan. So I was going to kill the commando. I'm going to tactics to Donna. He's elite, but power of the dark side is going to kind of take him out in a second. So I got another damage and then the one unopposed. So I actually did get 3 damage on there. I remember at this point, I think I was trying to figure out did I want to bother to turn off planning the attack or not? Did I want to waste my either committed Royal Guard champion just to get 1 damage in or throw the Scum in just to keep the extra icons on the force? I do remember trying to figure out that I really want to turn it off or not, keep you from getting the extra card. I think I might have actually chosen not to. That lets you get the extra card one last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, yep, so I went to force phase and I was going to trigger Power of the Dark Side. So that bit of damage to something committed to the force. So since I used the echoes to commit your Dodana, bye bye, Dodana.
Yeah, that was a rough turn for me.
Yeah, yeah, there wasn't much you could do there. So I got to capture a car with slave trade again and then took one off slaver holding cell. So I'm going to have quite a few resources next turn. I have at least 7, unless you somehow focus my Inquisitor guy. All right, so you're back to 4 resources, but you do get the full 7 cards here.
And this is one of the things I was thinking about even before. Remember, I was telling you even before we started playing
Right.
that although this deck had a decent amount of resources, most of the resources were actually on units, and
Yeah.
I was concerned about that. And I think this was a good example of a game where that became a problem because once I lost the Crix, then I also lost a resource.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a 3 resources. It wasn't just even like one there that was a huge drop to go from 7 back down to 4. Yeah, the deck really didn't have too many things that were regular resources. I guess it has the Massassi temple room thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and but
it's
that's unique, so you can only even get one of them into play. Looks like you played a couple of the Spec Force chuds and a B Wing. so, so you got a little bit of blast out here, although the Spec Force guys unfortunately only have 1 health. They're much better when you can just kind of swing with unopposed and then do damage to those Endor objectives so you can swing again.
yeah. If I think I ended up passing
Uh,
turn here because I was just trying to build up something to attack with, but I knew I wasn't ready yet.
right.
They had too little defense value.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. So at some point, sometimes you gotta even on light side sit back a turn or and even 2 if you can kind of afford to just to build the board and kind of hope that the dark side doesn't keep building a bigger board.
Right.
But so it looks like this looks like you're actually swinging. Maybe you thought you had a good edge hand because I think I only had a couple cards left at this point, so you're probably in decent shape to try to win an edge battle.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd forgotten that.
So you twisted a couple. I think I had two there. I think I might only have one card left at this point. The thing is, even if I lose edge with the Scum and Jarek, I'm gonna at least get to take out something,
Yeah, I forgot I had attacked there. I was just already feeling like I'd better do something quick.
right? So you had secret objective. Yeah, I only had two. I pitched a slaver. That's a shame because I could have been selling you cards back. I guess I wanted to get Zuckus down last time with Forlom instead.
Well, that was worth that play though.
Yeah, I think I asked you here if you were using secret objective and you weren't.
Yeah, it was just the dots.
Yeah. So I guess if you're you, I think you did this the way I would have probably done it too. Like you struck with one of the Spec Force guys first because got done. Here I forgot for some reason I didn't have two guns. I thought I was going to shoot the B wing and I shot him with Jarek, but I only had one gun. I just like I'm so not used to playing Jarek. I could have just shot the Spec Force guy instead, taken both of the Spec Force guys out, even though you would have gotten them. Although it's probably going to be moot. I can kill
Yeah,
the B wing if
I
I want
only
to.
get one shot either way.
Yeah. I guess if I had done it differently, though, I could have taken out two of your units instead of leaving
Right.
and leave you with one, but you ended up having two at the end. Yeah, so I shot one of them. So you did get a couple damage, so there's three on there, but I still got the force with the Royal Guard champion. I think are you using yeah, so you're using the Spec Force guy's reaction damage in looks like commando operations and shooting again during the engagement since you had one edge, so you got four. Yeah, that was probably a good move. So you didn't. You could have tried to spread the damage around, but then I would have just probably defended and killed your Spec Force guy.
Yeah.
Even though I knew I wouldn't win edge, I'd just give up one. Oh, maybe I wouldn't have. I might have not wanted to have him be committed. So stealing another card with slave trade. I got a bunch under there. Plus I got cricks. So I think the dial went up to seven probably about this point, if I remember right.
Yep, you had the. I think you
Yeah,
had
I've
the
had the
force every
force the whole
time.
time. Even that one turn you thought you were going to get it, thanks to when I won that edge battle, I was able to focus cricks.
Hmm.
So just rearranging what I got here. I think I got another slaver holding cells. Yep, some more resources.
And I think you ended up pulling the other slaver,
Yep, there he
so
is.
you
Yeah.
didn't regret your move for too long.
No, no. So I was going to be able to draw some extra cards here, give you back some of those final battles. I figured at this point in the game you probably weren't going to attack a final battle. I guess you could have, but it's probably not worth it unless you got Akbar out to get it. And that was one thing too. I remember us talking about that. So you had the Akbar mission, but it's probably not quite as good without a bunch of ships to take advantage of Akbar's bonus that you almost, if you had pulled a mission, you'd probably been better off with shield generator assault. All right, so it looks like I played the slaver. I got another one of the inquisitors that's the resource. So and I've left a couple resources open here. And I got to think maybe this time I'm going to actually just go ahead and turn off planning the attack. So you get some damage so I can maybe set up to win the next turn.
Yeah, I think that's what you ended up doing because if I remember correctly, like you weren't sure you could quite win on this turn, so
Yeah.
you wanted to wait one more.
Yeah, I'm quite sure I didn't have enough blast to try to win on this turn, but so I attacked with looks like Zuckus since he's got the tactics too. And I tactics the B wing.
Yeah.
Got a couple damage in on finally on planning the attack. And I do remember thinking, did I want to actually blow anything up? Because I couldn't remember exactly what was in your deck, but I was worried if I blew it up, maybe blow up something that would really help you. So it was the all those objectives were pretty much turned off and not doing much good. So it's better to leave them on the board until I could finish them off. And that might be all I end up doing there. It's no point really trying to focus down your Spec Force guy because you can just clear him off if you want to. I think I'm just figuring out what do I have left to fight with next time. And I got quite a
Yeah.
few things.
I
Uh,
think you ended up selling me back a card right before your turn ended.
yeah, I probably use slave trade. That's normally what I would do. Use slave trade
Okay.
to have one more option of what I might want to give back,
Yeah.
and then sell it back on the action window of the force phase. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit the lackey to give him a tactics, just in case, I guess. And then using slave trade again, and I do have a whole slew of cards in there. Yeah, so I guess I'm saying, all right, the action window. I'm gonna take things off of slaver holding cells. You don't have anything committed, so I can't use Power of the Dark Side. And I'm gonna sell you back. I'm pretty sure that was one of those final battles because I know there was two in there.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I remember pitching it
All right,
on my turn.
and I drew two cards, and I seem to remember. I think I had another action in the force phase after I sold you things back that I had. Yep, there it is. Relentless Pursuit. So Relentless Pursuit from Slave Trades. I don't know if people have been playing that quite as much. You reveal a captured card, and then you search your opponent's deck to find another copy of it and capture it.
Yeah.
So I was pretty sure your other Crix was probably in your deck, or you would have played it on your turn.
Yeah. I only had, I think, like one card in hand before you sold me the card.
Right.
So it was pretty low odds that that was the
Yeah.
Crix.
Right. And like I said, I would have thought you would have played Crix if you had him to get the resources back out. So I took your other Crix and I got put him under Power of the Dark Side, kind of spread him around, make it a little harder for you to get him back. And then probably after you refresh, I'm going to sell you something else back to get more cards before you can draw. Yep.
Yeah. Did you sell me a second copy of the
I
same thing?
I think I did. There's your. I said you can have your other final battle.
Yeah. And I think I pitched one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Can't play them both anyway, and
And then drew
yeah,
four probably.
yeah. So you're back up there. So dial is at 7. Yeah, you're close. If you get some blast, you could blow up slave trade and get a bunch of cards back. But that might be tough. I still got quite a few cards since I just got 4 thanks to selling you stuff back with the slave. Or I've got some potential tactics with the lackey if I don't mind double focusing on the scum if I win the edge battle. The slaver's got a couple guns. Jarek potentially has 2 guns. You might siege Jarek, but I can defend with some other stuff if I need to. I got the B wing locked down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do the impossible math probably.
Yeah,
How do
that's
you win when you can't win?
yeah, it's never a fun feeling when you just see the writing on the wall and there's not a lot you can do. But yeah, this is where my pride always gets to me, and I'm like, I just want to blow up one of them just so just to feel like I did something in this game. I'll go all in at slave trade. Maybe I can take it out, even though I know I'm going to lose next turn. But I know you don't usually do that, but I usually do that.
Yeah, I can't rem Well, it looks like I'm at least going to play something instead of just
Yeah,
concede.
yeah. There's 4. Somebody else big. That who was that? Was that Kyle? Or was that
Yeah,
Han? I think that was Kyle.
I think that, yep, that's the new Kyle.
Yeah, so that new Kyle's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got targeted strike and 2 guns and a blast. He's got when units attacking, you win tied edge battles,
yeah.
which by the way came in handy in a game we played right after this one.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I forgot that. And I lost in a game that will probably not show up on Yoda's Hut because we played it for about an hour and a half. This back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, it was not the most exciting game, but I enjoyed it more because I won.
Yeah. Yes, you did. You won at the end. There wasn't, couldn't stop you. Well, you got the force early when I had everything committed, and then I was sort of stuck where I couldn't afford to attack, and then you just kept pinging final battle, and to the point where you got like 7 damage on it, finally went and attacked it. All right, so it looks like you're going in with Kyle and the Spec Force guy after Slave Trade, probably doing what I
Just
said,
yeah,
just trying
just
to
for the
get
heck of it.
one, just trying to get one against my my big handful of cards there for my edge battle. Plus, if I really wanted to, although I don't know if I'm going to, I'm going to want to try to make sure I can keep the force here that I could have thrown the Royal Guard champion in to get edge one, but I don't think I did. So it looks like we're back and forth here. Now, my deck didn't actually have any twists, so I was sort of just hoping you didn't have twist, another twist or two in there. I think I had like some good cards though. Yeah, so you had looked like you had secret objective and you had six or so. And I think I had way more than six, but I can't see what I had.
Yeah,
I
I
should have
can't.
moved my hand out of the way. That was dumb. I should have remembered the camera was on. I probably was asking if you were using secret objective. Oh, I had Echoes of the Force. I was taking the lackey off, I guess, just so. Oh, you played a Rebel Commando from my
Because
Echoes.
because
Yeah,
you had a fake card.
I
But
guess we'll see in a second who I if I strike first or you strike first. I think I must.
yeah, you must have had more.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna shoot. Yeah, I shot the Spec Force guy and then I focused Kyle. So I must have won edge. I knew I remembered having a bunch of edge cards. So you're gonna get to do one more damage to the objective, but not quite enough since Slave Trade has 6 health. And you shot the lackey, I guess, just for the heck of it. Since I took him off the force, it's not gonna do any good. But he got a gun when he wasn't on the force.
Yeah, so you
So I
must have
shot
won damages.
Kyle. Uh, and then the slaver actually got to take out Kyle, so I got rid of him. And then I think you're conceding now. It looks like that
Yes.
you put up the. Well, sometimes that happens when you play these games there. So did you have any final thoughts about the actual deck that you played? I mean,
Yeah, well, I enjoyed the new cards, and I didn't get to play Mon Mothma in this. In the second game we played, I realized by playing her early how cool she is.
yeah,
So I guess look forward to that at some point in the future.
yeah,
The decided that two um, commando ops seemed like too much to me because of the expense of the units in that.
yeah.
So I would probably like swap it out for something. I put in
The strike team assemble, right? I
yeah,
think is what you put
that's
in the
right.
second time,
Yeah.
and that seemed to work better.
Yeah, it had a regular like enhancement type of resource
Right.
and too.
Yeah, that lets you protect guys too, which
Right.
is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I mean, this game didn't turn out so great for me, but overall, I kind of like about this deck.
Yeah, and the deck I played was fun. I mean, I got to do the Forlom Zuckish shenanigans and make use of Palpatine's new objective. I never saw Palpatine or Bane or some of the other big things like IG-88, but Jarek first turn with being able to discard Royal Guard champions was certainly awesome. And
Yeah.
then getting them right back into play and have a couple units like that were pretty powerful. So, all right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for doing commentary with me, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Sure. That's
All
fine.
right. Until next time.